Shit, I didn't even notice the 3 bots sitting on fucking chat. I just went into mod view.
Yep, they in now. Okay, and I think we're live. Yep. Hello, my darlings. I'm your host, Madam Tilly, in plushy form. And these are my friends, Knock Billets and Bud Bear. How you doing, darlings?
Hi, Tilly. I am doing great. I have a dog in my lap, and I will be muting periodically because he is very noisy. Aren't you, little dude?
Just. And how about you, Knock?
I'm doing good, hanging in there, doing swell. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor. I appreciate it.
And hello, Stu. How you doing? Well, y'all, welcome to the Waifu Tavern and ERP, as the Elezen Retrospective podcast. Again, just let's check in, let you all know I'm alive, and these podcasts are fun, easy to do. And so tonight's topic, I was thinking of doing like something like maybe like a Sony Saturdays or Sony Sundays. So I figured, why don't we talk about we just rank PlayStation hits, you know, PS1, 2, 3, 4, you know. Kind of like how we did with the podcast. I did the console tier ranking. Any one of those could be its own podcast episode. Same here. But we'll try to link on one thing more than long, usual. But first of all, Knock, what's your experience with the Sony brand?
Well, as far as the extension of history goes, I've not had much of a bad history with Sony, but as it comes to products, I remember the Sony Walkman or something like that. Yeah, and that's been my go-to Walkman before it. Well, I don't know what happened to it. I believe it went missing or
Probably walked off.
Probably was stolen. Yeah, it probably walked off somewhere. like it's at Walkman.
How'd you feel about the Sony PlayStation?
One of my favorite systems to date. Aside from, it's like one of my first consoles was the Atari.
Hey, Robo.
Then came Nintendo. But also, hey, how's it going, Robo?
Oh.
Hey, doggy.
Sorry about him.
My favorite console. What the PlayStation is my absolute favorite consoles next to the Nintendo. But yeah, PlayStation definitely holds a hard place in my heart because I grew up with it. So go with it.
Yeah, you heard right, Robo. Not just PS1 games.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember waking up Christmas morning, 1996. I got it a year after it came out in the U.S. Friggin' 7-year-old baby Bud Bear just running out, fucking, it's Christmas, it's Christmas. And then I open up the biggest box under the tree. And my mom tells me, now this present is for both of us. And lo and behold, it's a PlayStation.
Nice.
And I still remember the first game I played on it. This is going to sound like a terrible game for a 7-year-old to play. Was Alien Trilogy,
Ah.
which was, you know, a Doom clone, but alien themed.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. Resident
And
Evil 1 scared me so much I couldn't play another horror game for 10 years.
I still remember the first 3 games I had, which were Crash Bandicoot 2, Alien Trilogy, and Jet Moto.
Oh, yeah.
I played Crash Bandicoot 2 back to front a billion times.
Nice. I still get to play that guy, but I do finally remember his pizza commercials.
I really wish I could get into the Insane Trilogy, because, like, it's Crash Bandicoot, but also they ruined the vehicle levels in Crash 3.
Yeah, I just picked up Crash 4 on an Xbox console, so it's kind of a treat.
Yeah, that feels surreal.
How you doing, Killer Pizza Guy? Sorry, you'll hear the fan in the background. It is hot today.
I mean, I've got a dog in the background.
Yeah.
We're even. He is a loud boy.
Wait, I remember my experience. What was that? The Resident Evil run that Cross Street Neighbors had that. But I remember specifically a friend had it. I think it was '97, and he was showing off games like Final Fantasy 7 and 8. He had like he has PS1 was chips, so he could play the Japanese imports. So he had an early copy of 8, and seeing those cinematics, blew my mind. And so yeah, I had to get me one of those PlayStations. It's been my favorite console ever since. Oh man. And yeah, I hear you there, Zed. Like I mostly bought because I went on a big gaming haul spree, but I think I mostly bought games for the Switch because Nintendo likes to be on an island of their own. So they're the only brand that doesn't go to PC.
I mean, right now Nintendo's basically the only interesting console to me because there's shit I can't get on it. Or there's shit I can't get on other consoles on it. Like, why bother with Xbox Series X or PS5 when a PC from 10 years ago will outdo them easily?
And nowadays, you're like, this player games on the PC, fuck it. We get the money anyway.
Like, my PC, my parts, I have a modern processor, a Ryzen 5. My graphics card is years out of date. It's a 1660. And I have 16 gigs of RAM. I am well behind the curve. And yet I've got the specs to comfortably stream Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Nice. Should I pick that for the PS4 because I gave away my PS5. Yeah, it's the same damn thing.
Yeah, like PS4 is just PS5 is just shinier PS4.
And taller.
Yeah, it's the size of a gaming PC, and locally you can't pick up a locally you can't pick up a PS5 for less than $1,200 because our retailers are just offloading them directly to scalpers. So, if you're gonna spend $1,200 on a console, just get like a $1,000 gaming PC in your future.
I guess I'm kind of lucked out here because now they're starting to populate the area here. I've seen them at the pawn shops and the mom and pop store, which I bought a lot of my recent hardware from. Because I'd rather give them to money than, like, say, Walmart. And just play FIFA 14, darling. I mean, even with this current, I got a free 70 and 3070, and it's plays FIFA 14 just fine. But
yeah, like FF14 is my most played game, and it runs just fine on my 1660.
Streaming PCs, I can't wait to test stream them. But one's got a 3080, and the other's got a 4070.
The 4070, 4080 line is just so overkill. Like, and it actually, in benchmarking, showed performance degradation from some of the higher end 30 models. Like, I believe the 3070 actually runs better than the 4070.
Right. But what's also intimidating too for me is because I just try to stay away from doing like the PC stuff myself. I get like a repairman or something to do it. But they ship the graphics cards separately, so I had to insert them myself. That was a little nerve wracking. Oh boy, but
Welcome back, Doc.
and so here, but no, how'd you feel about the PlayStation 2?
Probably one of my favorite systems to date, and I actually still own my Gen 1 PlayStation 2, and it still works to this day. It works as well as it was when I picked it up day one. It was one of the first systems I bought when I saved up, and I saved up for that console specifically on day one. Yeah, granted, I got the PS1 Christmas one year, and it was go well lasted. And when the PS2 was announced, I saved up what I could, hid all my money away, and when it came out, I went balls in and just said, "This is mine."
Worth it, right? Oh, see, thank you for the sub.
The hype. Yeah, it's definitely more phenomenal when I got the one of my favorites. I still use it to stream. I still use it to play games on it, and I even stream with it. So okay, when I do stream, I don't emulate. I use legitimate hardware and software. So I definitely love to showcase more of that.
Now, see, I take issue with the phrasing legitimate because you use real hardware. Emulation is just as legitimate.
That depends on a matter of preference, honestly. But
No, but by that I mean like it's a phrasing that collectors like to put forward, and the game collector scene is just, well, purposeful price gouging to make their club more exclusive, basically, and trying to get into like powerful positions to make emulation illegal and shit like that. Like, I've been on the emulation scene for, let's see, it's 34 now, 21 years.
Let's see, like and nowadays too, digital purchases is basically emulation.
Down, but like, that's not to downplay how cool original hardware is. Just like, don't be taken in by collectors because they will try to hit you with the whole, oh well, emulation destroys the spirit of the original hardware and shit like that.
right,
And
that's not what I was saying in that context.
no, I know, I wasn't saying you were, I was just clarifying for the audience.
Hey, audience darling.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know you, Knocked. I know you ain't like that.
Right. Yeah, it's that I know I've emulated several times. It's because the game that I was trying to find and get, it's beyond my reach, or I just don't have the means of accessible to play it.
Oh yeah, because like game collectors will drive up the prices.
Yeah, they'll gouge on you. They'll price gouge everything. And one person who appraised my PS2 collection, saying that you're rolling on an entire bank. You're making bank if you sell all these to me. And I said, what makes you think that I want to sell these to the likes of you? I don't collect games. I play them.
Yeah, like game collectors will like have the fucking room that a YouTuber has, but like the difference between AVGN's game room and like Pro Jared's game room is that AVGN built his up over his entire life and actually plays them.
Right.
Yeah, like I remember like when everyone was like shocked when I sold like half my gaming collection, like a few months back. I was like, hey, I'm not a collector. I just like having access to everything. Yeah. So, yeah, so if emulation and it works well, or whether physical or digital, I just like having access to all the games. The only thing is I just don't really care out too much for is just trying to bootleg like non retro games because uh,
It in some cases it's morally justifiable because like the developer of Disco Elysium, for example, had their intellectual property pulled out from under them by the publisher. So they're completely cut out of it and encourage you to acquire the game through illicit means and not give the people who stole it from them money. Or in some cases, a lot of other countries will illicitly acquire games because they can't legally buy them.
but yeah, just I look up the story behind every game. Let's see here.
Just if you're wondering if it's justifiable or not, just let me know. I'll let
Okay.
you know.
But yeah, PlayStation 2 was like the best like sequel system ever. You know.
Oh god, PlayStation 2 was the first major console generational leap post 16-bit to 32-bit. Like going from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2, like I was playing Armored Core Master of Arena on my PS1 the Christmas morning that I got my PS2, and Armored Core 2 was one of the launch titles that came with my PS2. It was like, I have no words, honestly. I was speechless for how big the increase in like everything felt.
Oh man, I remember playing at the bouncer. I got done my birthday. The scene I wait like how cinematic games can get. And yeah, freaking. What's funny is like one of the first games I got for like Christmas for the PS2 was Final Fantasy X, and uh, and the intro when I plays like the Ramstein song, a sin busting into town. Because right before my dad comes in the room, he's like, "Oh, I thought it was supposed to be like high tech shit, and then that cut CGI plays, and then it blew his mind, like, oh, and but yeah, and PlayStation 2 was kind of like my main system for like 9 years, because from 2000 to 2009, because I got to like the 7th gen pretty late, um, man, I remember one time too, like my PlayStation 2 broke. And it was kind of like a Christmas movie too, because I was passing by the Blockbuster, rest in peace, and I saw a PlayStation 2 in a locked display case through the window too. I'm like, I'm gonna own that thing. And so, man, I washing cars, doing side jobs, and I eventually got that PS2 one chilly night. Yeah, I brought it home and good times.
God, Final Fantasy X was fucking going from 8 to 10. I don't want to say 9 to 10 because 9 had its own graphic style and really felt like the best of what the PlayStation 1 could do. But going from 8 to 10, like one quote unquote realistic graphic style to something that looked like at the time it could stand alongside Toy Story was just fucking wild.
Let's see here. Hey, Knock, how'd you feel about the PlayStation 3? Knock, darling?
Oh no, he died.
Oh,
I,
can you hear
I
me now?
know PSD is such a
Oh, okay.
bitch.
What's up, darling?
I didn't realize Doc was in
Hey,
here.
how'd you feel about
Neither did I.
PlayStation 3?
Snuck though. Oh, it was one of those. It was one of those systems I wanted to get because it was another backwards compatible. The first gen, at least. The later gens, well, they solely worked on the PS3 exclusively. I've been on the hunt for a PS3 Gen 1 for a while, and it's kind of eluded me. I know it had its own problems when it was coming in, but it can be easily be fixed, upgraded, and something to suit the needs. To me, PS3, I feel like it's the unsung sequel to 1 and 2. I feel like that with a little bit more work and more recognition, it could be one of the better systems, if not just on par with PS2. I feel like that 3, to me, it was, I got mine's pretty late, and the Slim, that's what I got for Christmas here, and coming late into it, I was starting to collect the games so I could play them. I played them all, and what I could get before the end of PS3. So, what I think of it, mainly what I think about is that I wished it got more work on it and more recognizable instead of just being. I feel like that PS3 was a rushed project. That's what I feel like, but PS3 standards, if it wasn't for the fact that what it can do more than what the PS2 cannot do, I would say, it was okay. It was okay. I just wished it was better. That's all.
Yeah, like I thought it was it was also a good step up, and apparently I'm bleeding. And like the graphics was like really lifelike. I'm like, it's like, why do we need any more console generations? I don't think it's gonna look doesn't need to look any better than this. It's already photorealistic. Like, I can see the veins in the old dude's face, And but games became a little more open world, and a little bit longer. Then of course the console had freaking the digital store. That was a trip, all these features. For some reason though, it just didn't have the charm, I think, as much as the PS1 2 did. But how do you feel about it, Bear?
PS3 was an awkward spot for me because I got it like the week before they announced the PS4.
Damn, we all got that one late.
But what I think PS3 did, and why people fought so hard against them closing down the store, because PS3 was a really good preservation platform for a lot of old PS2 and PS1 games. Like, I never bought a full-fledged like PS3 game on my PS3. But when I gave it to Matilda, one of my mods and my best friend,
Happy Matilda.
I don't think she's here right
Holy
now.
Spirit.
Let me go poke. Yes. When I gave it to her, I had my favorite game of all time, Breath of Fire 4 for the PS1, Suikoden 2,
Yes.
Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, the entire Fatal Frame series on PS2, Blood Rain, and Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2. And my biggest regret purchase was Persona 4. Persona 4 is like, you don't have to read through between the lines. It's kind of homophobic.
I can see that.
Like, fucking Yukiko really suppresses the fact that, she's gay for Chie and admits it in that whole fucking sequence where you save her, and then she slaps Kanji across the face when he says, "Hey, was getting your persona coming out for you too?" And then, like, all the subsequent Persona 4 material just made Kanji straight, just into girly things.
Oh, and I remember in the anime, the main hero is very homophobic.
Yeah.
But
So is Yosuke. Like, they cut out the whole part where he confesses to being in love with the protagonist, and you can't say it's something that was pressed for time either, because it was fully voice acted and still on the disc, just dummied out, which means it was cut for content.
Uh,
Back then,
I was gonna
sorry.
say, yeah, video games weren't ready to come out of the closet in that time period, fortunately.
Yeah, but like they didn't have to fight so hard to be like, oh, you're gay, that's gross.
Oh, I remember like Jade Empire. It's like you finally finish the romance, you get a big kiss scene with your lover. But if it's if it's a same sex, then they go in for the kiss and then it just cuts to black. Like they weren't quite ready apparently.
I think one of my favorite fucking weirdo shits in gaming when it came to any kind of relationship was the original Fable.
Yeah.
Fucking just cut to black. Oh, 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 and then you have a baby.
Ah, Fable. Probably Fable one is that you aged way too fast. Yeah, unless you're a speedrun a game, you're gonna be a wrinkly old fuck by the end of it.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was the more you leveled up, the older you got.
I see, so I was too good at the game. So basically, I slept like a hand
Basically,
helmet on,
yeah.
just pretended, I was just this night. But shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, anyways, we'll talk more about that one later. Let's see here, and finally, let's briefly talk about the PS4 before we get to ranking stuff. Okay, Bear, how's the PlayStation 4?
Out of the Xbox One and the PS4, I've had much more fun with my PS4. The exclusives were better, even though I can only name a few, and it's the only console I've ever gotten an import game for. Thank you, Doc, for Gundam Breaker 3. And
Oh,
it was the platform for the first major Gundam Versus games to actually come west. Gundam Versus Extreme Full Boost, and was it Gundam Versus Extreme Maxi Boost Full Boost? The names are really fucky, and just Gundam Versus was the first one to come west. Let's see, Bloodborne. Fucking love Bloodborne, even though I suck at it. Persona 5 The Royal. It's not exclusive anymore, but it was better than the base game because it removed a bunch of homophobic and transphobic jokes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing basically the basic and the regular the Royal version.
The Royal has like a bunch of added content, but I swear, like, the best thing between the two is like there's these two older gay men in the original version who chase Ryuji around, clearly trying to have sex with him, and he's underage.
You know what funny thing too about Yosuke
But
is that if you look up Persona 4 hentai, he has the most pictures. Yep, and that cross-dressing screen.
oh yeah, I mean, they straight up cut out the scene where he admits that he's in love with the protagonist, and he's been acting so homophobic to hide the fact that he was gay. Like, it's straight up still voiced on the disc, and that's how you can tell it was finished content. They didn't voice act anything until it was 100% done back then.
Yeah. Well, he's
But
anyway.
oh yeah, like he's just kind of too doofy.
Oh.
But the older gay dudes in Persona 5 The Royal, they notice Ryuji skulking around a drag bar, and they want to help him be the best drag queen he can be because they think he wants to be a drag queen.
Drag queens are fabulous.
It's like I love these men, but they're so misguided.
Now how you feel about the PS4?
PS4, I again, it was another system I got late. I didn't get it at the start, but when I did get it, I have jumping from the PS3 the 4, when I got the 4 Slim, I had a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun with it. I think the PS4. I think the PS4, in my heart of hearts, is one of the biggest gaming libraries I have next to the PS2.
Yeah, mine's pretty huge too.
And that's quite an expanded game library. And I feel like that I was completely invested in the PS4, not only based on what it looks or what it can do, but how it can function. I had little to no errors as opposed to my PS3, which I'm pretty sure did have errors at the time. But this PS4, huge step up, and I'm loving it.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Nice. And also, if you don't mind me a little history about myself when I started streaming, that PS4 Slim was my debut when I started streaming on Twitch. That console I used to stream the games on PS4 until I got a capture card and moved on from there.
Same.
So that was the true goat of how I made it on Twitch.
Yeah, I start off.
PS4's
I'll go.
sorry. I was gonna say PS4's Twitch integration was really
Yeah.
cool.
It was.
Yeah, that's how I started too. And then I realized that it's only a 10 megabyte up cap, because I saw the pixelation, and that's broke my heart. So like, I gotta get a PC. So yeah, let's let me go to the bathroom real quick. Then we're gonna get to the main beef of the podcast. Be right back.
Gotcha.
Alrighty, I am going to check on my grandpa while she's up and about, so I will be right back.
Okay.
And since Doc is lurking in the call, I'm going to boop his snoot.
Boop the snoop. Yep.
I'm also going to boop Noct's snoot.
Hey.
Over.
Okay.
If any snoots are within booping distance, they've been booped.
Oh. Damn it. How's it going, Dekthor? How's it going, beautiful? I miss you.
Hey, I'm sorry about that. I got a house full of shenanigans to deal with after this. Yeah, it's like apparently I got like a huge ass cut on the back of my leg. I didn't even feel it. Sounds like there's a bunch of dried blood back there. Welcome back.
I'm back.
You left too. Okay.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay. any alcohol wipes or something. Nope. Don't mess about. Anyways, how y'all doing? Let's I'll be surprised if we get this done in one day, but we've said it before about other lists. Right. So.
Is this like individual games or
We're
franchises?
talking about the franchises.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
I said, with the console one, we could probably do whole episodes on these. So at least we got content. So I started off GTA. How do you think that? Let's see here.
I'll let you two hash this one out. I don't like GTA.
Okay. Well, let's see here. I think it was revolutionary for sure because it made okay to be the bad guy because I remember like Tron Bond, like mispictures of Tron Bond sales were stifled because some people didn't think it was right that you're like committing all these crazy ass crimes with cute little kid mascots. But then GTA 3 came along and made it okay to be like the anti-hero or the criminal. Made it the fad. Plus, the open world stuff. It just but later became a victim of its own success and has not moved off of GTA 5 in like 10 years, at least. But yeah, the numbers don't lie. Oh, so I'd say it's an A. But what do you think, not?
I give it a B. I'm not a big fan of the franchise. I don't get the appeal, but at the same time, I do get it because I know not everyone wants to play as the bad guy. They always want to play the opposite. Oh, you're playing a game, you're supposed to be like the hero or something like that. But I don't know. I never really got much into Grand Theft Auto. I mean, the only one I played was 3, and I think that's going to stay that way. I don't think I'll ever play any other Grand Theft Auto game aside from that ever again. Although honestly, I don't think I want to play 3 ever again, or let alone any other. So I give it a B. Again, I don't get the appeal for it, but at the same time I understand.
Yeah.
I will say, for like sheer historic standpoint, I'm gonna have to side with Tilly on this one and say A.
Okay. I'll make
Because like, even if I don't really like the game, it is historically significant as like a landmark 3D action adventure open world game.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of gotten like lazy, and it's kind of victim of their own success, in my opinion. They've not innovated in a decade.
That's all good. Yeah, I'll meet with A.
Okay. Let's see. Next up is Frogger. Okay, who wants to take Frogger?
I'm gonna go with C because like the games got progressively worse as they went along, but it was really interesting to at least see them try to bring back something that
Yeah,
old.
like it was great before the PlayStation, and this is just I don't have seen it in 3D. It always felt weird, but
I mean, there was also just like the one game before PlayStation. It wasn't one of those endlessly iterated on games like Space Invaders or Galaga.
you got experience with the frog there, not?
I remember Frogger on the arcade before it came out. That this though, I would say low B, high C. I will side with Bear on this one. It did progressively get worse with the different ports, and I much rather prefer the original arcade version of Frogger, because I think the original where it's at. I believe that this I believe like the later ports.
Well, back and forth.
It's not gonna get better. I think the original just is the goat to Frogger.
Okay, so yeah, Frogger. So we'll have to give you a D, because, yeah, go back to the swamp, darling.
Get out of my swamp!
Alright. Next we have Parappa the Rapper.
Has to go in S just for the sheer fact that it created rhythm games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's also just one of the most trippy and endearing stories about a dog learning to drive to impress a flower ever made.
And did learn karate.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna take a shit.
But, like, seriously, it is the first rhythm game.
Shane, I don't know why they never made any more sequels, aside from like one or two.
Yeah, they made Parappa the Rapper, and then Parappa the Rapper 2, then Jammer Lammy, and then Gatouru Man, and that's it.
Oh,
Guitar Man. I love Guitar Man.
I liked Jammer Lammy. That might have come before Parappa the Rapper 2, actually. Yeah, like, the literal inception point for rhythm games deserves some points.
okay. I actually do have a fan-made live-action Parappa the Rapper movie.
Well, one of my friends said in Discord, if Sly Cooper isn't an S, I'm going to subscribe solely so I can unsubscribe.
Ooh. Sometimes I'd be like, I'm unfollowed, but I'm still subscribed. Okay, so Parappa goes. Cause I don't really have much experience with that. Cause I'm not a rhythm game person, but if we both agree, then sure.
It's incredibly historically significant, if nothing else.
Okay, now Ratchet and Clank. Okay.
I almost said S, but I'm going to say A just for the fact that they're all the same game with a different story and a few different weapons.
I can agree. It was kind of like a bit of a franchise overload, and I was
Like,
always a little spiteful because it's not their fault. I was like,
I
go on.
I will say, like, people being angry about the PS4 reboot,
Oh.
quote unquote reboot, changing all the story was canonically not a reboot. It was Captain Quark in prison lying about what happened. It was a spinoff.
Yep.
Like, it is even framed from the get go as Captain Quark in prison telling the story.
Okay. And
But,
but
yeah.
yeah, like I was on the Jack and Daxter side, and the fact that Jack and Daxter stopped getting games made, and while Ratchet got the Thrive. Yeah, so it's a series I do want to experience because there's so many of them. And recently I just bought the rest of them today because I had picked from that mom and pop shop. I picked up a limited edition PS3, and it's got like a Final Fantasy 13, so it's got like a beautiful like a epic paint job of like lightning on it. And man, since it's 2023, the PS3, you need a lot of hand holding trying to work that store. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
fucking okay, I can't buy it. I can't add funds to that way to my wallet, so I actually had to go to sites and buy gift cards. And I mainly just got the Ratchet and Clank games because they're still PS3 exclusives. Like half the series is still locked behind that old console.
Yeah, like, the only gripe I have with them is not that any of them that I've played are bad games, it's that they're very similar between each game.
Yeah, it's kind of like Pokemon. But I would say B. Naki, got any thoughts on this one?
Ratchet and Clank has been a series that, I mean, Insomniac game. It's probably one of Insomniac's longest projects series, and I've enjoyed every single Ratchet and Clank game that they released, except for maybe one or two. Well, one or two games, but I mean, it's one of those series that I kind of have to go with a high rank. I would say S, but at the same time, I would go with A because I mean, the games on the series alone are just really great, except for one or two of them, which is I'm gonna nitpick like the small things. And I will side with Bear on one thing. I mean, it's more or less the same game, just with different stories that it revolves around with, different sub-characters that may or may not have a guest appearance in later games. Or, oh no, that person's dead and might not appear in the next game. Something like that. Or just a narrative, like Bear said from that Ratchet and Clank game for the PS4 that came from the movie. It was exactly from what Captain Quark stated. Even though I hate Quark, but I'm just gonna get this out of my system. But the fact that
I love Quark. He's a hilarious villain.
yeah, a stupidly hilarious villain. Where I am Captain Quark, and the fact that the Iris computer mentioned Quark's full name, I actually laughed at it.
What was it again?
Leslie Capricornius Quark.
God damn, dude.
Told you. I could be wrong in the middle, but I know Quark's first name is Leslie. Hey, how's it going, Em? Good to see you.
Okay,
Hey,
so, I get.
Yeah, I would say A or B. I would go with whatever.
I'd say A.
Alright, I can sell for A.
Because, well, there's not a lot of variation. It's a solid, reliable series. You know you're generally getting a good game if you
Fair.
pick one up.
Let's see. Now, can we say the same about Rayman?
Rayman 2 was great.
Mm-hmm.
See. Like, a lot of the problem with the first Rayman, it's a gorgeous 2D platformer. It's very stiff. The first half of the game is great. Then the difficulty ramps up by 10,000 times, and you find out you have to 100% complete the game just to beat it.
I'll agree with Bear on this one.
Okay, yes, I have no experience with this guy. As far as design is a little too silly for me. I'm doing good, Em. What about you? So, where would we put the Man Ray?
Yeah, I think we agreed on C.
Okay.
Yep, it is. I only played the second Rayman game. I thought that was really good. I played a little bit of the first one. And I said,
Second one was the only one I really enjoy.
I agree. Second one was really. I didn't play any other Rayman game after two.
Next, we got, well, the hype is real here. It's The Last of Us.
Okay, which one though?
Yeah,
Entire franchise.
Do we really have to do this?
I'll be nice and say C instead of D.
I'd say,
I'll be nice and.
I want to say high quality, but exploited the fuck. Yeah. Like,
I'll say C. I'll be
Like-
really nice and say C.
Well,
I get the direction that they're going with it, but at the same time, what the whack are you trying to do with your whack franchise? I get that a lot of people like the first one, but even though that's stretching the bar too high when you decide to
The second one followed by the TV show.
but
see, I think my problem with the second one is not, why is there a muscular girl? Girls don't belong in gaming. It's more, and I'm not saying that's what you were saying, Noct. It's just the general critical reception. It's
I know.
It's that The Last of Us 2 does this thing I really hate. It gives you no choice but to do absolutely horrible things, including at one point killing a pregnant woman. and then turning around and going, I can't believe you do such horrible things, player. That's fucked up.
And the game forces you to do that. That's where I drew the line. I said, nope.
But then
You
it's been
lost
like, all the Game of the Year awards.
Yeah, but when have those ever mattered?
Paperweights,
Right.
dude. It's like I found a decent story, okay combat. It was a good cinematic one. It was definitely, I think the show works because it was one of those games that is actually probably better told as a show. Um,
Yeah.
and hey, I thought Abby's hot. But let's see here.
Yeah, I would
I
just give it a I would just give it a C. I mean, the first one that was enough, and the TV show I liked the TV show, and that's coming at nicely from a person who rarely ever watches anything on TV on their own free time, which I don't.
yeah, I'm just saying C because I hate the whole why would you do that, player
Yeah,
mentality of a lot of these games when they didn't give you any choice but to do it.
yeah, I couldn't stream it. I just couldn't. I said, mm-mm.
Like,
I feel like I know what this is implying for me to do, and I'm not gonna like it. So I'm not gonna stream it. I'm just gonna play it on my own, and then after that, if it gets to a point where it gets extreme, then I'll just stop.
Yeah, I'll eventually stream it one of these days. But I'm kind of really curious what Last of Us 3 is gonna be like, because Neil did announce that there was gonna be a third one and that Ellie was gonna die in it. But then now the show came out, it's getting super popular. He wants to change the whole canon. So
It changed
Yeah.
the dynamic,
see, like,
but
The Last of Us 1 canonically ends on Joel killing the only people that had any hope of creating a cure for for the fungus. Like, I don't know. I don't dig the whole.
yeah, he's a selfish fuck too. Everyone's selfish.
Yeah, like the whole fandom thinks that he was this great guy because he saved Ellie. Like, you would save your kid in that situation. He's not her father, and he took away her chance to save the world. In her eyes, at least. Like,
that I will agree as well. But also I have to on one instance that he may have gotten rid of that he did get rid of that one chance to save the entire world from the vile fungus. But on the other instance, I remembered the fact that it's the fact that he lost his daughter.
Yeah.
yeah, he's still a scumbag. I mean, the prime directive from Star Trek to get a little fucked with the needs of the many over the needs of the
Yeah.
few. But, like, the whole planet or your fucked up daddy complex.
Alright, and it says in the show they kind of made it a little more justified. But let's not get into the Last of Us podcast right now.
Yeah. Never let me near a Last of Us podcast. I'm being nice when I say a C.
Okay. Sly Cooper.
Like, I'm not even saying this just because my friend's going to stab me if I don't. I legitimately think it's an S.
Never played Sly Cooper, but don't get me wrong. It's not like I had no interest in playing it. No, that's not it. It's always been one of those games I've always wanted to get, but it always evades me, and I am extremely pissed about that. It must be a really good game to have such praise. So, honestly, it looks good. I like the characters and the concept of the story behind it, which makes me want to get the game even more.
I'm not even just saying it because Carmelita Fox was my furry awakening.
Of course.
There's a lot of, like... I've only played the first game, but I've seen a lot of the other ones. There's like, it's got this very fun vibe, and you play as the chivalrous criminal.
Yep.
I guess I'm gonna get a shout on here, but so it's like
Yeah, I'll get.
yeah. So I didn't really
Oh, that's it.
care for Sly Cooper, just at least the aesthetic. Cause I always picked Jack or Ratchet because guns, and Sly didn't have guns, and those games seem a little extra furry, and like it's like the aesthetic too, like the hippo. I wasn't a fan of hippo, and also the stealth, a little bit of stealth gameplay I'm not crazy about. It just and for between the three of them, I got Sly had the least going for it, but you're right. If it's still considered great to this day, cause so it's like, should I buy the game at peer pressure? So that's one of those things. Yeah.
I can help you emulate it so you can actually try it out.
I
Like-
have to decline, Emily.
It's one of those games that people love to this day just because it's got that fun vibe to it that, like, you don't often get to play a light-hearted heist story.
Yeah.
That's true.
Usually it's fucking Payday or Ocean's
GTA
11
5 nowadays.
God,
or GTA 5. Fuck GTA.
Okay.
God forbid.
Where would you rate the Sly Cooper?
I S.
Not
A or S for me, only because I like the character's aesthetics. I like the story. From what I've been told thus far, again, haven't played any of the games, but why am I giving it an A or an S? It must be a really good game if it has a for the.
I see.
You're cutting in and out, dog.
Oh, well. As I said, like I said, A or an S because it must be a really good game if it has eluded me for this long. Again, haven't played it. I wish to, but I'm pretty sure it is. So.
Alright, break it up and relate it.
I'll help you out with that later. Knock.
Alright, Dons. It's time we have to talk about it. Let's rip the band-aid off. Call of Duty.
Can we just skip it?
Can we skip it, please? I mean, I'm literally not wearing pants right now.
Oh, hi, Lily.
Hi, Lily. I'm
Hey,
gonna
Lily.
in my honest evaluation of Call of Duty as a franchise is A. Because, like, even if you ignore the multiplayer, even if you ignore the fan base, if you ignore the people talking about it, they're all solid shooters.
Yeah, it's like it pushed a lot of units, a lot like it made every company a lot of money. I guess if you're the competitive scene, which I'm not, and I do remember back in the day the single player ones back in the day were fucking cool.
Like, if you're into shooters, I would recommend giving a lot of the older Call of Duties a shot. Just because, like, even getting into the newer ones, they're solid single player campaigns. Like, the problem is, like, the multiplayer is almost as toxic as League of Legends. And people who say that, you sensitive LGBTs wouldn't last a minute in a Call of Duty lobby, wouldn't last a minute inside a woman.
I was like, I know, that's why I'm not playing it. We should rewrite this.
With every fiber of my being that hates Call of Duty, I don't entirely hate it. I only despise the multiplayer. The single player campaigns are short, but they're straight to the point. I love a good single player campaign of Call of Duty. And the only other thing that I play and enjoy in Call of Duty is the zombies. I love zombies. I'm not gonna lie. I love zombies a lot.
See,
It's just go ahead.
sorry, you finish, sorry.
Zombies to me felt like a very good pastime to to play with your friends, not someone just crazily over the internet. To me, it's special because I remember when I got off when I was off days on university, when I was on break, we'd play nothing but zombies. We said F the multiplayer, let's just go play zombies. Okay, cool. And I think the biggest league we got was 30, and that was already hectic enough.
Damn.
I miss it. I miss it a lot, but despite of my overall hatred for Call of Duty, I I would give it a low A, high B, and only because of the multiplayer became as toxic as League of Legends or anything other game that has a toxic community. Dead by Daylight. Anyway, I. But anyway, the single player campaign is. It to me that's where it's sealed. It sealed the deal for me, and I loved, and as a person who enjoyed old school shooters back in the day like Doom, Wolfenstein, Quake, Duke Nukem. I mean, it kind of reminded me of those, except it plays differently. But the older Call of Duty is probably where it's at for when it comes to campaign. I'm not saying that the modern versions of Call of Duty's campaign was awful. No, I'm not saying that. They made it different to where you can actually either you can learn to enjoy it, or you can learn to hate it, or you can learn to tolerate it. But I would say, you know what, I'm gonna give it an A, because that the whole fact that I mentioned about the single player campaign and zombies, that meant so much to me when I was playing with my college buddy back when I was in university. Yeah, A for sure.
So, the way I'm coming at this in ranking wise, I think, is like how good of a time someone is going to have compared to other games on the system if they're playing the first game in the series as it comes out.
Fair.
And like, that's where The Last of Us is in C, because honestly, I'd put it in a B if we're talking The Last of Us remastered on PS4. You know, the first remaster.
B for the second remaster.
Yeah. But if we're talking about the PS3 version, it had a lot of performance problems. It had a lot of bugs. And, you know, Rayman, the first Rayman game, was kind of a bait and switch because it becomes a completely different game difficulty-wise in the second half. And the first Frogger game on the PS1 was kind of trashy, but the second one was great.
Okay, I'd say we should probably put Call of Duty in B.
Okay, I'll meet with B.
I can settle for B.
Let's see.
Yee.
Yee!
Okay, Heavenly Sword.
Iron redeemed a yee.
Yee.
Hi, Iron.
How you doing, darling? Yeet.
Alright,
Really,
how's
sir,
it
I
going?
don't know too
Yee.
much about this other than that she's basically female Kratos.
Heavenly Sword is going in D because it was explicitly Sony's attempt to make a first-party God of War
Sounds right.
to beat God of War for some reason.
This is,
I think you need to shake your
bouncy,
plushy
bouncy,
form
bouncy,
up and down
bouncy,
till
bouncy, 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 bouncy. Bouncy, 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 bouncy.
Hey, we're all over the bouncy. Hey.
Tilly can't traditionally bouncy because she's become a marketable plushie tonight.
Ayo.
Okay, and so yeah, this was it was basically a failed experiment.
Yeah.
Have you played this one, Knock?
Off the head of Nog. I haven't played it, but
I've played
yeah, I haven't played it, but I feel like that if I did play it, I would be somewhat disappointed. I would say a C or a D.
Goes in D for disappointment.
I will, if you're gonna put it in D, I will remark this with a comment from a video game reviewer. They tried to experiment with it and it failed.
Alright, so what do we feel about Little Big Planet?
S. It paved the way. It paved the way for Mario Maker by being one of the original platformers to have like a really robust level
Yeah.
creator, and to build basically its entire image around users building levels for it.
Never played Little Big Planet, and don't get me wrong, it's not my kind of game. However, when I got this game for my sister when she was down in the dumps, she was exploding with
Oh shit.
laughter and hilarity that she just couldn't stop playing it, and whatever got her down to the dump, she immediately forgot about it, and she said, "This is the best game that you could have ever given me, Big Brother."
Huggles.
And so I just hey, what are you doing?
Huggles.
Hey. Okay, I'll hug. You know, come here.
Hug.
As for Little Big Planet, because it made my sister happy, and anything that could make my sister happy video game wise, it's a high grade for me.
Echo. Okay. So like I think the problem I did they stopped making games because I think this people still felt like they weren't innovative enough or something like once you played the first two games, it's kind of like that's all you need. And I think it was a little too cutesy for me to get into at the time. And I'm too lazy to create my own levels. But I do like myself some platformers. And I remember our minds were blown when you came out that Final 57 DLC.
Yep, Emily redeemed the token
How do you
picker.
feel about it, Bear?
Like S for a Little Big Planet because like for one, it pioneered like online level creators in console games. And it was just like family friendly, wholesome platformer fun. Sackboy is fucking adorable.
Alright, M.
Agreed.
Pick out a token, you get the game behind it. You find that Uwu Juice, and you get a bonus.
100% agree with that, Bear. And like I said, it's not my kind of game, but it made my sister happy. With
Crying?
with
Okay,
what it's
bold
doing.
choice.
So, definitely agree. We also put to play as Crooked Plush.
Oh, you found the bonus! Pick another one, darling.
Let's go.
Yo!
Okay, and let's see here. So that first game you won is called Pretty Girls Panic. I wonder what that's about. Probably some loot puzzle game or something. Let's see here. Cop Tilly, okay. That's an underrated emote.
Officer Edgy.
Okay, oh, that's a cute little game. It is Swim Sanity. Looks like a multiplayer. Okay, congratulations, M. Yep. Alright, and back here, and I'll get those codes. But first, let's see here. So, S for Sackboy. Alright, BioShock.
BioShock I'm gonna put an A because at least the first two games were great.
Yeah, 3 get like lots of praise.
BioShock Infinite was I don't know, like people will get caught up on like oh, this has got all this symbolism, and then other people will get caught up on like, why do the vending machines sell shotguns? But like, I just get caught up in the fact that the gameplay is formulated to make you think you're close to losing, while it gives you like everything you need to win at the very last second. Like, that will drop just enough resources for you to almost think you might lose. But Bioshock 1 and 2 were really good.
As someone who streamed the first Bioshock, I have to say I was impressed by what approach that they did in a game that was made from 2K. Never played Infinite, and I was almost my way to 2, but for some odd reason, I couldn't get to it. Either I didn't have time or something, but either way, I enjoyed the first one for what it was worth. So I will say, I probably, if I were to play 2, I would probably enjoy it as if I was playing, 1 again, and just go with that. Even though it was the hardest difficulty that I played it on, I would say I give this one an A for sure. I just think it was a nice, interesting take. Again, what 2K did with the series. So, wish it was a little bit. I mean, the story I tried to get into, but I think what grasped me was their attempt at humor, and apparently their humor took me in. Bait, hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, yeah, I thought the series was okay. I'm surprised it's another one that just stopped. Yeah, like, the combat system was great. I just kind of felt like, because I played a stretch stream with 1, I felt the game was just trying too hard. Because you could tell in the first game they're trying to go for horror, but didn't quite get there. Kind of like 2, and never got to give 3 a chance. Yeah, they're pretty big games at the time, so I give it a B. What bear give it?
A.
Is it there's an
I'm fine with B, though.
Yeah, I'm fine with A or B.
Sorry. Fuck.
It's all right.
Go with A. Let's see here. Ape Escape. Here.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to go with S just because of how the first Ape Escape was one of the first games to really utilize the dual analog setup that almost every controller ever would use from that point onward.
Futuristic technology.
I would say originally I was gonna give it a B, but I will amend it by saying this though. I'm pretty sure Bear knows. There was a person on YouTube who actually did a in-depth review of Ape Escape, and the person in question stated everything what I was going to be thinking on the game. It's fun. It can be challenging, especially if you're going for 100%. The difficulty curve, it can be steady, but at the same time, it's understandably curvy. Going, beginning, you're still sort of like go up, it starts to escalate things really hard. I think after this review, I'm gonna give it an A or an S. First one I really liked, and the second one it was enjoyable. Although I would say that the second one wasn't as good as the first because I liked Spike, but the fact they put little Jimmy in there with the little baby. Why would you put a baby monkey with you on your adventure all the time, and all they do is just I don't know. I have no significance of what that baby monkey
Just play your face off.
Trying to say, but probably anyway. The point is that the first 2 I enjoyed, never played, but MC Profits, shout out to him by the way, or them. They did that in-depth respect.
It's okay. His pronouns are he, they.
Perfect. Now I feel less of an asshole now. He did the retrospect flawless, and exactly how I portrayed it. So, A or an S for me for Ape Escape. I loved it.
Fun fact: MC Prophet is my neighbor and friend.
Give him a hug. Say that's for me.
Small world.
As soon as I'm sure we're not both sick, I will give him a hug.
Let's see here. That's a small world. Yeah, like another series that died off too soon, but oh, fun concept. Good, like I said, technology innovation. And I just like the fact that I keep going. Come here, you little fucker. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Get over here. Get over here. Come on, fucker. Come. So yeah, it was kind of a little addicting. So yeah, A for Ape works. Okay, next up is Wild Arms. This is a JRPG series I've yet to play, but I've been itching to.
So, Wild Arms is kind of a really mixed bag. Very well remembered, but some of the later games in the series are a little hard to get along with. Whereas one of the last Wild Arms games to be made, the strategy RPG on the PSP, consistently makes one of the worst missions in a strategy RPG ever list.
Huh.
But overall, I'd say it's a A.
Okay. And how you doing with that, Robo?
I think Robo has a huge fascination with Wild Arms, but yeah, I'll go with whatever I'll go with whatever Rankin suggests. It was a game that I only played the first game of it. I think it was a remaster of it, Ultra Code F. That was a lot of fun. But
I need
didn't
to
play
actually
any
play
other
that.
Yeah, what?
I need to actually play that.
I never played any Wild Arms after the first. But yeah, I'll definitely dive into Ultra Code F again, and then I'll probably play the other ones. I feel like it's one of those game series that only had quite a few games and just
They kind of faded into the PS2 generation.
yeah, it just faded.
Oh, yeah, deviating from the formula. That's kind of scary me. I've seen Xenoblade Chronicles for a while, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I was like, oh, why did it mess with perfectly good JRPG controls? But, yeah. I was like that with the Sky, with the tactical RPG controls. Like, why we gotta add all this new shit, you know? But sounds like Wild Arms kind of balances out at A. Let's see here, Infamous. So this was like a big PS3, like practically a launch line.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with B. Solid, but like didn't really do anything special.
I agree. Okay, karma system. Alright story. The action was nice and frantic. Decent platforming. And yeah, it felt like a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, like you were gonna have a fine time if you picked it up, but it wasn't really a must-have.
So
B.
no, this is close.
Someone asked me which would I prefer more, Infamous or Prototype, and I couldn't give them an honest answer. I just told them that I haven't played either game. I knew what it was. I knew what it had, but I also knew where my limits were.
So
Go ahead.
an actual answer for this is Prototype if you want to eat people, and Infamous if you want to zap people.
You suck electricity. But I'd say Infamous is the better to do.
Yeah, but yeah, I couldn't give the person who was asking that a straight answer because I just said flat out I don't know. So I haven't played either one of them, and even if I were to play either one or both, then I would just say they're both kind of the same, except one zaps electricity, one just does not zap electricity or absorbs electricity. Just use yeah. I would get, but for Infamous though, solid B.
Okay, yeah, I'd say B. And let's see here. Next up, anyone remember Driver?
Driver was
Yeah.
like once you get past the really weirdly difficult tutorial, the first Driver was a great game.
Oh,
The second Driver was a great game,
yeah. The best
and
part.
I can't say anything about the rest of them.
Hey, Stu, love you, darling. He's my driver. But yeah, I remember if you like, there was like an anti-gravity code. It was just fun seeing the cops go fucking crazy, just flying over you and stuff. But
The driver series.
yeah, it tried to beat Grand Theft Auto with the third game. It didn't quite work apparently. Uh,
Right.
I'd say C.
I enjoyed the first two driver games for what it's worth. I did play a little bit of the third,
I'm fine
but
with a B or a C.
but it wasn't one of those games that was worth remembering or talked about much. I'll go with B or C.
Okay. Stu, where do you think the driver goes?
I'd go with B because the first two were like PlayStation cornerstones of the time.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, we have pretty much like the last great PS4 hit, Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, I.
Uh,
Oh, sorry.
I've heard it's great, but I haven't played it.
Okay. For the time I streamed it, I enjoyed every moment of Ghost of Tsushima. I believe it paved way to what most games should be, and this I feel like is worthy of such praise. It gave you a lot to. You can explore, you can do whatever you want, however you want, and it would just give you what you needed if you met the criteria of getting there. There's a lot of lore in there, and also on the occasion fine old samurai booty. But I digress. The story, the characters, the controls. There's nothing more I can describe it but an amazing game from start to finish. And even when you completed the story, if there's some things that you haven't gotten yet, they'll still let you do it after a certain point. And considering of what it is, I loved it all. I loved Jin Sakai, and I would say a solid S for this one. And here's why. I was gypped out of a collector's edition of Ghost of Tsushima. I got the launch version. A person at GameStop place said that, hey, a different GameStop. They said that, hey, we got a spare Ghost of Tsushima collector's edition. I said, what's the catch? Well, you turn in the Ghost of Tsushima copy you have, and whatever it is left, you only pay half that. And I said, deal. It took me 1 hour to get there, and after that, I was mind blown how nice the person was, and how beautifully well done the game was. Sound flawless, music flawless, and there have been many moments where I literally almost cried because some of the scenes were in there, and some I just went, why would you do that? Or why do you put that in this game? I mean, especially the fact that you put, minor spoiler, like buck ass nude Jin Sakai in a hot tub, and then after that, just getting out of the tub, just like, oh damn, that's a fine booty you have there,
Yeah,
samurai.
there's people with the glitch where he doesn't put his clothes back on.
Yeah, put those things
But
back
like,
on.
yeah,
S. Total S.
Ah, yes,
S
I
for
didn't
me.
get to because like the Japanese, like the samurai stuff is not my favorite kind of aesthetic. I think it would help if you could create your own character, like that. That's kind of like the same case with The Witcher. Like, love the gameplay and the world, but if only you could create your own character. So just basically this makes it take longer to get around to it. I'll eventually probably get around to it.
So the thing about The Witcher is that it's based around an existing
Yeah.
character, like the main character of the books that
Oh
it's
yeah, I get
based
that it's
on.
Geralt's story. I just think that with the Witcher itself is just prime real estate for just creating your own character.
Honestly, like, I hope the next Witcher game they do something like that, but they announced a remaster of the first
Which it
game,
needs it.
so
Oh yeah.
yeah. But I just wish they'd do something new instead of coasting on their old
Yeah, they
successes.
have, but they kind of need to after that fucking pretty much Cyberpunk backfired on them. But so yeah, Tekken. So I wasn't too big on the Tekken stuff. I played a little bit of it, but I think I was maybe a little more into Street Fighter. Um, but it was
So,
cool.
I'm gonna say S on Tekken because it was the first like non-virtual fighter 3D fighter that was competition viable in any way.
I get that.
I can get by with an A or an S for Tekken, even though I'm not big on the fighting game scene, but I was part of the fighting game scene back in Tekken Tag
Yeah,
Tournament.
it was good,
See,
but it wasn't
I
gimmicky like say Dead or Alive.
I'm not like a big fan of fighting games or anything, but even like as a kid, I played the hell out of Tekken 3 on my PS1.
Yeah, I got more into it during the seventh generation.
But Tekken is definitely Tekken is definitely a wonderful series. You can enjoy it. You can, I don't know, look at the characters and just go in awe.
And actually, because apparently there was a spin-off game starring Nina Williams for the PS2.
Death,
Oh,
Death by
Yeah.
Degrees, it wasn't very good.
I played that and
I
completed
kind of liked
All
it,
I
but
can tell you is it was okay, but it could have been so
yeah, the
much
joystick
better,
combos out was
visualized.
interesting. But yeah, I think because YouTube was kind of fresh at the time, I put up a playthrough, and I think I got like 1 million views. Uh,
Oh my.
but so yeah, Tekken at A sounds about right. But how does Fallout sound?
I'm gonna say disqualified. Um, it's not really a PlayStation franchise.
4 sold well on PS4.
Yeah, but like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 came out on PS3 and PS4 and Fallout New Vegas, but the series started like I think the year the PlayStation 1 launched just on the PC.
Okay, but how do we feel about him though? So,
Yeah, I think it's worth like discussing about it if we're, let's just say that if it was
I'm
how we rate
gonna
it.
I'm gonna put it in D then because the games are okay, but playing them on console basically locks you out of the main main reason to play any Bethesda game. That's mods.
oh, okay. Yeah, so guys, I never really played Bethesda games with mods at all. Um, but yeah, like the thing is, there's so much content that you don't really need the mods.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, with games like especially Skyrim and Fallout 4, the content isn't actually that much. It's just repeated a lot.
Uh,
Like if you've cleared one dungeon in Skyrim, that's basically the same experience for all the
Right.
dungeons. But like Bethesda literally ships these games on PC with the same tools they use to make them, and expects fans to turn them into a canvas to do whatever they
I can
want
see it
with.
because they're using that aging engine for 76.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel we could probably put Fallout at C.
Yeah, C works for me.
C works for me as well. And I
Because
only
especially New Vegas is a solid game.
agreed. Agreed.
Okay. Okay, so a game we talked about earlier, Jack and Daxter.
Let's go with the A.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
A.
Let's see. Good collect the fun, good shoot 'em up. Let's see. Good world. The Lego games.
I would go with an A, but I'm going to say B because they're very repetitively
Yeah.
made.
Agreed. They are fun and funny, but again, I'll agree with Bear that they're repetitively made. I mean, mostly by the end of it all, it's almost every game will go Lego.
Yeah, like there's a reason to play every Ratchet and Clank game, but once you've played one Lego DC Batman, you've played all of the Lego DC
They have
Batmans.
decent stories though once they started adding voice acting.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Fair. I'll agree with that assessment.
So you said wait, said B.
Yeah, B sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. I'll meet you.
And it's probably a quick discussion, but where does Crash Bandicoot go?
S.
Yeah.
S.
Even though I haven't really played any Crash Bandicoot in my life, I see his glory. So
I'll cash your Banuka.
Haha.
amazing, a lot of fun. Ooh, good to know. Let's see here. Gravity Rush. Start on PS3 and Vita.
Haven't played it.
Get remastered on PS4. It's probably the first game.
Haven't played it. Haven't played it, but I heard it's very
Yeah,
good.
like, probably one of the first games I ever played that like I did like 7-8 hours in a row for.
Yeah.
I want to break that record until Yakuza.
I'd say based on that, we go with whatever Tilly says for this one.
I'm sure
I'll
not
agree.
played a lot of it, right?
Never played Gravity Rush.
Yeah, it does have some trippy like gravity mechanics and stuff. Got a nice little anime aesthetic. Let's see. I know I got it. You know, it's fun time, but I'm gonna sit it at a B. It's a solid,
Go
but
for
not like a no blockbuster. Okay.
I trust your judgment.
Now, this is the game that people have been trying to get me to play for years now. The Legend of Dragoon.
I'll let Noct play this one because I don't want to offend him.
Okay, fine. Jeez. I'm gonna make it an S. However, it is not without flaws. It does have translation problems, and regarding all of that, yes. Regarding of all of that, it's a really solid game. It's a really solid game.
Hey,
Solid
Noct.
story, yes.
Would you like to entry this door or no entry?
Would I like to enter the store? Yeah, I would like to entry the store.
Hello.
No, when you go talk to the priest and he tells you this war is a trial from a god. Ha. Ha.
Ah,
Ha.
ah, ah. Yeah, like I said, translation problems from left and right, but overall, if you look past that, it's a really wonderful game.
I need to get back into it. The last time I stopped was like I save stated during a conversation early on where Dart sounded mildly uncomfortable that Lavitz said that women belong in the kitchen.
Like I said, like I said, translation error, you know?
We
Yeah.
sure
Translated some other way, but you know what? Like I said, if you look past that, it's a really wonderful.
Yeah, I can agree. It's like it's really intriguing, but I hope someday someone does a retranslation of it.
Fair.
Yeah, a remaster for a retranslation, I'm all for. It doesn't need a sequel. It really doesn't. A prequel, maybe, but a remaster retranslation.
He said S or A?
Yeah,
I'm all for 100%.
he said S.
Okay. What about Kingdom Hearts?
S.
Huh?
It's goofy. It's the goofy boots motherfuckingest shit I've ever played. And God help me, I love it. I will help this clown shoe child destroy the forces of evil with the power of friendship and this gun he found any day of the week.
I'm gonna back out of this one. I do not want to offend Bear or anyone in here.
Oh, okay.
Tetsuya Nomura is one of the worst writers on earth, and God help me, I'm here for it.
All I can say is that. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna say something else. I love Kingdom Hearts, except I cannot, for the life of me, get into the story. I can't. I just basically can't.
I love how bad the story is.
It's so bad. I just can't get
I love it for how bad it is, though.
But exactly, it's like you can't help to love. You can't help to love anything else about the game except for the story. I mean, if
No,
I could
see,
look past
but-
the story, it's a wonderful game.
I love how bad the story is, though. Fucking Woody from Toy Story telling some evil guy, I don't think you've ever had a friend.
Yeah, just
Fucking. Oh, God.
and
The
fact-
Lion King world in Kingdom Hearts 2. I love it.
The Prylands, yeah. The Prylands was a lot of fun. The reason I don't play or stream because I cannot get into the story, but it's a wonderful game. I just
See-
can't get into it.
I love the story for the same reason you hate the story.
Fair.
I guess I'm kind of in
And-
the middle here.
And I haven't played 3, and I think I'm sparing myself from that
Yeah.
for right now. But I just think that honestly, for those who haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3, including myself, I would say end the series already because it's already shooting me in the brain. But I guess it's one of those things that you can't help but to love the fact that the game is so good, but the story is so fucking bad. And I just want it out of my misery already.
Yeah.
But in despite of all I've just said and what Bear just said, I will agree with Bear. Just get this in S and get it over with because I don't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it take 10 years to release 3, but release so many other games that are kind of, combat's
No
good.
coincidence.
It's such a weird mashup of Final Fantasy and Disney. Which, why does Disney get the priority? Fuck y'all.
I
Yeah.
agree that what they did with the Final Fantasy characters in the third installment was bananas. Why would they do that?
And
Why would you do
at least the first game's story is simple to follow.
that? Kind of,
Yeah.
but I'll forgive you on that. Yeah, it was it was tough for me to get into it, but it kind of kickstarted the idea of what is the story about.
Yeah, the first one's just, Swords is trying to find his friends, Donald's just trying to save the king, it's just kind of,
Darkness! Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so yeah.
But I believe the Kingdom Hearts is light. No! A works
Now,
for me.
about that deep
Okay.
story and lore of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. No one's really played this one.
I'm gonna put that as a C because most of the ports to the PlayStation consoles have been incredibly compromised.
I I also it's one of those games where you die like maybe like 2 shots. Yeah, I'm not really crazy about those.
Yeah.
I gotta have a health bar. Uh,
It's realistic.
but yeah, it's okay. We're Call of Duty's little brother.
True. I will give the Tom Clancy series a B or a C, but I'll go with C. I mean, mostly what Tom Clancy is, especially Stealth, is mostly tactical espionage like
Yeah.
Metal Gear, but nothing like Metal Gear. But I, as a person who enjoys tactical espionage games like Metal Gear, Tom Clancy Splinter Cell really did it well for me. But again, I wish that there were more than just those. But then again, I think that's what Tom Clancy is mostly infamous for, is that. Yeah, I'll go with C.
And so if it seems like the little brother, Battlefield is the weird cousin. What they do is pretty good. They had some cinematic war, games. But it's all right.
I have to ask: is there a single player campaign in this one?
Oh yeah, really
There
good.
is? Okay. All right. I'll amend it to a
Same.
B.
Well, you already played Battlefield?
Yeah. Fair.
Battlefield was really more of a PC thing up until like PS4. The ports
Yeah.
were very compromised.
Agreed.
I'd say solid
Okay.
B or C. I'd go C, but it starts with a B.
Sure. Also, what starts to be is a Battle Arena Toshikin.
Battle Arena Toshinden gets a C. It's the one of the most forgotten series in
Yeah.
history, but it's also one of the first viable 3D
And-
fighters, and that it was a 3D fighter that had basic
Had an
mechanics.
old school anime.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
Okay. Monster Hunter.
I'm gonna go with S because, like, it's still going and it's still
Yeah.
incredible.
I will go with S. And I got into Monster Hunter pretty late. I started playing it on World, and I'll be honest, I tried to enjoy World and I couldn't. Unless you're playing with friends, of course. But when Rise came out, I will say I enjoyed Rise. I'm sorry, but I will fight you to the tooth and nail about it.
Rise is probably the best traditional Monster Hunter game.
Yeah, and even though I am slightly disappointed with the free title updates that they did, the first one, the first few ones, but I think the latter ones, I think the recent one, I think I will get back into it more. But for sure, Monster Hunter, I will say, Monster Hunter Rise is one of my favorite of this series, and I know I played. Oh, I recently started playing Generations.
Oh,
Ultimate.
Jesus, what the fuck? Grant? Fuck.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's Spook Bear.
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
Alright.
so my mom's bedroom door just fell off its hinges. I might have to bail so I can go fix that.
Okay, all right. Be safe
We're
and
going
be
to do a
careful,
part
right?
2 of this because there's a lot on the list.
Alright, so I'm so sorry.
No, don't be. It stuff happens. I get that. Real life comes first.
Oh, wow, we do have a lot to go, don't we?
60
Yeah, we do.
titles on this thing altogether.
I'm gonna grind through it.
I am going to go put this door's screws back into the hinges, and then I am going to fix myself a nice stiff drink.
I know the
enough.
Nintendo game one's gonna be a 2-parter for sure, because that's a 700
Yeah.
list. But we'll
Oh,
we
God,
should be zipping
yeah.
through, I think, but still. Okay, so,
But yeah, Monster Hunter S.
Yeah, Monster Hunter S.
yeah, like, it's something like that. Everyone tells me to get or play, but I never have money at the time to tell me. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I can do one more rating because I think I see Star Wars
Yeah.
Battlefront next.
Star Wars games.
So Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 were like the big multiplayer shooters on the
Yeah.
PS2.
Oh.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm not sick. I have really bad hay
Okay.
fever.
Gotcha.
And like some of the first PS2 games where people actually like, you know, went to the PC versions after playing them to play the big like 64 versus 64 multiplayer matches. It was really fun playing multiplayer against bots.
Okay. So where do we put the Star Wars Battlefront?
A.
I will agree. Hey,
It was
I
one of the
love-
best co-op shooters on the PlayStation.
Agreed. Agreed. I played the first Battlefront. I enjoyed it a lot. And I played a little bit of 2, but it was a demo, and I said, I would like this. And then it just...
Yeah,
But
there's a place over
yeah, A for Battlefront.
Okay. Knock, would you like to continue just the two of us, or should we do a part 2?
Well, we can continue this a little bit more until until one of us decides to retire for
Okay.
the night. Would that be okay with you, Bear?
Yeah, that'll be fine. I will be back in the chat at least once I get this door on and I have lamented my fate.
Okay, hop in the call if you
Fair
want to come back.
Alrighty. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Okay, did you just grab the end? So the Batman Arkham games.
As a person who played a lot of the Batman Arkham games, I would say an S, or an A, because I feel like that they should have done. I feel like they should have done more with it. In terms of, I mean, they've already got this combat and story down to a solid, but I feel like that there have been some. Well, this is my impression of it. I feel like that. I think I played this on P. I think I played this on. It was just god awful performance. I think it was playing on PC, I believe, but I don't exactly. But anyway, but the earlier versions when I played it on, I think it was on PS3. Yeah, it was on PS3. When I played it, it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. But so I will give it an A or an, because the controls were solid, and controls were solid along with the combat. It just felt like I was actually playing Batman.
Yeah, and the thing about the Arkham games is that they came out of fucking nowhere too. You know, because we were so used to a history of bad Batman games in the '90s. But yeah, combat was amazing. The platforming, the atmosphere was so good. Let's see here. You faulted the first, especially the first game had repetitive boss fights. I will say my biggest critique is the writing. Like they literally did not need the Joker for they didn't even need him for the second game. It's like the first game was fine because he kind of took over the second game, and then he kind of like came in and took over the Origins, and then he kind of like freaking basically kind of took over a little bit of Arkham Knight. It's like, I love Mark Hamill's Joker, but these games will make you sick of Mark Hamill's Joker.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I would say, wasn't for writing, I would say I'll give these games an A for Arkham.
It is.
Okay, how do you feel about Until Dawn, or the Dark Pictures anthologies?
Never played, never took an interest, but once I saw a streamer played it, I knew that it would be the game for them since it was their kind of game. I only watched it for about 5 minutes, and I said, okay, I cannot watch any more of this because I will get either fully invested in it because I'll be spoiled, or I just won't get into it. Honestly, I think I think for what good it is, and it is good. It's just, again, not my kind of game. But I know it's a game for everyone else. I will give it an A because if it attracted this attention to many other people aside from myself, then I would say at least give it some credit.
I could agree. It was unique. Little quick type of Vinny, but it was a good cinematic horror experience. And I'm glad they actually took that concept and ran with it when they made the sequels. Do the same thing with different kind of monsters.
Yep.
Yeah, like, kind of like it gets a little bit it's short, but replayability with like the choices.
Yep.
And so yeah, and like I've been dying to play these for the longest time. Because I just think they're underrated. So yeah, I'll give it an A.
Yeah. If you're planning on streaming it, I'll
Oh,
let you
yeah.
play it.
Okay, that's Sega Cinematic. We got the David Cage games like Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. Got Two Souls.
I played. I didn't play Detroit, but I did play Heavy Rain, and I enjoyed Heavy Rain a lot. I enjoyed it so much that I think one night I was playing it, and I was playing for hours on end, and then realizing that it's already dawn, and I said, I have to go to work. I didn't get any sleep because I was playing Heavy Rain, and then I had to go to work, and it was a long shift too.
No.
And the game was so good. I mean, I cannot condemn it because of how. I mean, it was really good. It was really good. I give it an S, but I'm not gonna make it any lower than that because of something I chose to do. S because it's, oh man, you can get involved in it. You can be invested. You can be in it. It's, oh god, I don't think I can describe this any more than I could. But then again, to be honest, Heavy Rain did come out a long while ago. My memory might be hazy, but I do remember experiencing it, and it was a total fun.
Yeah. I actually sadly had the experience spoiled for me because as soon as I got to the this right there on the menu, this press start screen, my boyfriend at the time was like, "Doesn't it suck that Blank is the killer?" I'm like, bro. So
Yeah.
I'd spend the whole game kind of like I'm trying to piece together like, okay, how could he be the killer? You know, but and they're good cinematic games. Of course, the Spirits of the Vicious on a sequence of playthroughs, but and I love Beyond Two Souls. That was like my favorite of the trilogy. Let's see, and but yeah, I think they're solid A's. Yeah. Easy. Yes.
A.
Easy.
I would say S or A.
Yeah, sure.
But if you go A, I'll go A.
All right. This one I have not
Definitely.
played. Days Gone. PS4.
Days Gone. I want to play it so bad,
It's like there's
but
bikers and
I don't know
zombies.
why. I just never
Yeah.
got it. I don't know. I mean, it's probably not one of those games that post-apocalyptic zombie kind of games. I want to play it, but I don't. I don't know why it's not attracting the attention to me. If I were to play it, then I would probably tell you more about it. But I'm just gonna give this a B or a C, only because I know what it is and I might be interested in it, but at the same time I'm not sure if I want to. It's kinda
Right.
weird.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, it's like just some random white biker dude just drive around shooting zombies or something. A little hard for me to grasp, but I think because people were definitely like tired of zombies at the time. So it's like trying to mix it up with like some demons or like some team based gameplay. So yeah, so I never really. So sometimes I think, should I play it? And I'm like, eh. It's not too much going for it though, so it's like
Yeah.
it's one like it's kind of a pass. Like I'd rather play Ghost of Tsushima, but so I could say a CRD.
Okay. I'll go with what you want.
Let's see. You know, I'll go with D. Cool Borders on for the PS1.
Ooh.
I mean, at the time, at the time it was a neat experience. We had decent music, we like did the tricks and stuff. It was a neat little semi-sports game.
I mean, it was no
Yeah.
Tony Hawk, granted, but it was still fun. That's why I give it an.
Oh yeah, you got it. That Croc. That was a mascot game I didn't get around to playing.
An unsung hero of the PlayStation hits. I only had 2 games, and I'm sad that it didn't go beyond that. But at the same time, I'm content with what they did with Croc. It was I played the first one, and I played halfway through the second one only because I rented it. So I'm pretty sure if I went through with it, I'll pretty much enjoy the same as if I was playing for the first time. I would say A or an S for Croc. It was a good platformer.
Yeah.
It had some charm. It had love to it, and
We like charm.
quite frankly, it tried to match that of Crash Bandicoot, and
Flew too close to the sun.
again, nothing wrong with
All right. Speaking of flying close to the sun, just to see your wings melt away, you come crashing down. Cyberpunk 2077. The game that literally blew up your PS4.
a game that really wanted to blow up my PS4. Yeah, and now that I have a PS5, I can actually. I haven't played it though, although I did see people attempt to play it, and okay, I'm gonna rant for about 60 seconds, starting now. Cyberpunk 2077 is a very, very resource-demanding game, especially for PC. If you have a PC that's like mine, who is ancient and hemorrhaging resources and cannot function much more, then you're bound to have a very terrible, awful experience. But if you have like a very vicious supercomputer, then
Look back
you
there.
can play this flawlessly, no problem. And yes, agreed, that was an ordeal for sure. Heavily resourced. If you didn't have anything like close to, up like what's the latest and hottest parts for PC, you're not going to have it at all. I mean, even with the patch updates, even when they allegedly numb down the requirements, it still gives problem. And I wanted to play this game so bad, but unfortunately my PC is not that powerful.
Yeah.
And it mostly ran on 10 to 12 and 10 to 20 FPS. Any more than I'd be surprised and stoked. But no, I don't think so. It just wasn't that good. 10 seconds left. I'm sorry. I have to give this a C. Or say for cyberpunkingly, coordinatedly.
You just turned to a Murloc there. I know what you meant there, Bear. Yeah, feel free to come join us if you like. So Cyberpunk, like I said, it definitely goes to sound like it's a delay. It just you didn't rush it out the door. So it's kind of it literally fucked up like what 5-6 years of progress. That's heartbreaking to hear. And now they gotta basically put out all this extra content that they probably could have made money off of for free just to win back fans. So it's like, oh fuck. But hopefully this tells their executives, like, don't rush us. Also, at least they kind of learned to stop using their own engine and just go with Unreal or whatever the fuck they're using now, Unity. But it's like just this crazy story behind the scenes. I've got the Xbox One version, and I've also bootlegged the PC version, and when my capture card died. I could say the PC version is a little more stable. Like the Xbox version, I actually had a glitch counter on the stream overlay, and I got about 25 before I decided to drop the game. I think I played the game like two sessions, and I was like, okay, I think I kind of seen everything the game has to offer. Gameplay wise, it's getting a little repetitive. You know, they looked at my view count like, wow, this is actually the most viewed game I've ever streamed to this day. I'm like, okay, so I keep making another 3 streams, but even then I was like, yeah, I'm done. Uh, so until he's not completely about the numbers. But the game itself, though, yeah, I think it's kind of fun. If you go with like an immersion mindset, and so I'll probably give it a shot at some point. Well,
Yeah, yeah. I'll give it another shot when I get back to it. But yeah, just right now I'm
It's
just gonna
pretty, though.
see.
um,
It's pretty. Yeah.
well, I'd say
It's just for when it comes to.
I give it no higher than a B myself. So, but yeah, I disagree with C.
I mean, I'll go with whatever you suggest. It's just that when it comes to overall you're trying to do in the game to progress, and you lose all that
Yeah.
progress, it really tears the soul.
But your input's important, darling. So, what do you think about the Dragon Quest series?
Oh, the one now?
Dragon Quest / Dragon Warrior.
Oh, Dragon Quest. Oh, Dragon Quest. Never played, but I did see a streamer that played it. I'm gonna say yes. A or an S. It's one of those long running series that does things what they want, and while still retaining what Dragon. Ooh, sorry about that. To what Dragon Warrior is, but anyway, yeah, ARS. All I've seen is nothing but praise for Dragon Quest, and one person who I watched, they beat it and they say they had a lot of fun. Side quests are a lot of fun to do. I believe in the earlier ones are more or less the same, just it's old school tradition. But when the games evolved from generation to generation, it still kept the same charm to what Dragon Quest is. Never lost that.
Yeah, like this series I never got to experience, and well, from what I keep hearing, like Dragon Quest deserves more love. Because it should be right after Final Fantasy.
Agreed.
So yeah, definitely making a point to play it this year. I think I'm just kind of trying to go for the Xeno series first. But yeah, I would have to set it at A just because even though it sells well, I still think it needs to step out of Final Fantasy Shadow. Hopefully that happens soon.
Me too. It needs to be a game of its own without trying to be like what other games were. Or
Ooh, Bear's got a joke.
Funny enough, Dragon Quest is the single most popular RPG series.
I
in
believe
Japan.
that.
Funny enough.
I can believe that, but at least, especially as far as Sony goes, I just think it's in Final Fantasy Shadow, and yeah. So people need to recognize or something.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Dragon Quest a bit older than Final Fantasy?
Not by much, but yeah.
Yeah, because I think if I remember correctly, most of the animation from Dragon same by Akira Toriyama, the one who made Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I would say the
And
art style
like
looks like
some-
so similar. Not too crazy about Dragon Ball, so I mean that's one reason why I'm not playing it. Who knows?
Yeah, but and I think like there are some other games that actually that was drawn handwork by Akira Toriyama. Chrono Trigger was also another one.
Okay, but
Blue Dragon as well. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
let's see here. We talked about it briefly, but The Witcher. Let's see here. Witcher.
Didn't we talk about The Witcher a while ago?
Yeah. Yeah. I said, but okay, off on a side rant. So where should we rank The Witcher? Because only the third game came out on PlayStation and sold like hotcakes. Um, so, hmm. I want to say maybe I got a solid B, but where would you put Witcher?
I'll give it a solid B, and only because I played some parts of The Witcher 3. I never played any Witcher game
Yeah.
before then. Yeah, a solid B. I would give it a higher grade, but I only played little bits of it, so I don't know much on it.
Okay, next up we got Fat Princess. Never really played this one myself.
Neither am I. I haven't even heard of it until now.
Oh, I was definitely during the 7th generation with PS3. But essentially the game is, I think you're two warring armies, and you want to like basically kidnap the other person's princess and bring it to your castle in order to get the win, kind of capture the flag. So you can somehow be able to like feed your princess more and more cake to make her too fat for the other army to lift. So I guess if you have a fetish, this game's for you.
Uh, I mean, well, I don't have anything for this one. Yeah, I don't have anything for this one. I mean, I don't think I can grade it based on what you
Yeah.
said. I mean, I could. I don't know. I mean, what does chat think? What would you rate this chat?
Do we go C or for cake or D?
I would say C. I mean, the title sounds nice, but at the same time,
It was weird, yes. Oh,
we're
bring it in, knock. Bring it in. Huggles!
Hey, wait, no, ads, damn it!
Thanks for redeeming, Dark Elf.
I like hugs.
Let's see. Let's see here. But do we like Final Fantasy? I think this one's a no-brainer, but I mean, FF7 is kind of like the
No-brainer.
most selling PS1 game in history.
Fair.
Okay. That's just one of the games. Let's see
Yep.
here. Okay, this one game just recently came back to life. Dead Space.
Oh man, we had to put in Dead Space. Okay, all right. I'm gonna give this an A or an S.
Right.
Here's why. As a person who loves Dead Space a lot, I've replayed the original Dead Space and Dead Space 2 a lot of times. Different challenges and everything. Even I streamed those challenges at some point. I recently finished the
Good night, Bear.
remake of. Hey, take care, Bear. Is that Sly Cooper seeing us? Yes. But after playing the remake of Dead Space, I can say as in the whole trilogy.
Well,
yes,
that's the whole
trilogy.
franchise.
Yeah, whole franchise trilogy. Yeah, but yeah, for sure. Anyway, I beat the remake, and I have to say that as much as it is aesthetically pleasing at most parts, there were some parts I feel like that were little janky and could use work. But then again, the OG did have that were kind of questionably jank. As an overall series, they're scattered all across, and the fact that they remade Dead Space was completely out of nowhere. To me, it came out of nowhere, and when I played it, while I appreciate, the changes that they did, and the changes were really good for the better, and there's some that I don't particularly care for, either because some of the bosses or the encounters were a little easier, or they just didn't give out that same jump scare flair as the OG did. I mean, that's what I feel like when it came to that. I feel like that the remake of Dead Space did not do enough justice for the OG. But honestly, though, as an entire franchise of Dead Space, I am very, very, very into it, and hoping that I know what EA did to the franchise was unforgiving,
Right.
and quite honestly, I will never forgive them for that. But when it came to the remake of Dead Space as well as Dead Space 1 and 2, I would have to say they're good games. They're very, very good games. I would definitely replay those again. I will replay the remake again, even though
Don't like it?
again, even though, okay, all right, I like it a lot, but I don't love it as much as I love the OG 1
Okay.
and 2. Reason I don't talk about 3 is because I haven't played it, and I know it was, from what many say, as well received as hot garbage.
I haven't played either, which is
However-
why we're gonna collab it someday.
Well, that's kind of like why I wanted to collab it with you, because we actually have discussed that we
Yep.
wanted to do something related, and I would definitely give Dead Space 3 a shot. Will it actually change my series as a whole? No, it will still remain the same. I love Dead Space. I mean, many people say it's hard garbage, but to me, I don't know. Maybe I will have a different experience or a different spin on it. Who knows? But as far as the series goes, overall, S.
Okay. Yeah, we'll face that frozen unknown hell together. Alright, Gran Turismo. This series, I could never got into much. Like, I got Gran Turismo 3 on the PS2, and I just found it so boring. Like, us, this basic bitch driving, racing, it's like, nothing, no Mario Kart shenanigans, nothing, like, like no, like cops thing with like the the Need for Speed. It was just it was basically NASCAR. That's why I dropped this one, but a lot of people like it and like the grind for it. What do you feel like Gran Turismo?
As a person who enjoys racing games, I'm gonna have to say that Gran Turismo is the unsung hero
Ooh.
part of the whole thing. I love Need for Speed, and I love Mario Kart, and I tried getting into F1, but I never found the appeal for it at all. But I get why it is, and that's why one of our mutual friends, Yoko, streams it.
Yeah.
Even though I mean, F1 it is what it is, but I feel like that's what Gran Turismo is. It's like F1 and NASCAR, but with I mean, it reminds me of Test Drive.
Mm.
It reminded me of Test Drive in that sense. But if you're one of those people that just likes to ride a very fast car across a circuit track for that many laps, I feel like in order for you to get the full experience of it, I feel like that you need to at least have a driving set, like an actual steering wheel, shift gear, and pedals.
Gotcha.
I believe that is, to me, the only way that you can actually fully experience what Gran Turismo is all about. I mean, if you're just playing it on a controller, that's fine and all. But to get that full immersive experience of actually driving an actual race car, you gotta have the proper setup. I mean, even in F1, in order for you to fully, experience it to the fullest in a good way, you gotta get the setup for it, and not a like really expensive setup, but at least the bare necessity to actually get the ball rolling. Again, steering wheel, shift, stick, pedals. I mean, if you get those in working harmony, I say you're all set to go. But as for like the commonality, I would definitely agree with you, Tills, that it's it, it can be boring. But quite honestly, though, if I were to give this rating, I'm gonna pull it away from A to a B.
Okay. Let's see here, and
In the later, what one last note I will say though is that in the later games they do allow to purchase cars or custom. So I will at least give them that at least Gran Turismo is trying.
okay, there's about 24 games left. We could make a part 2 next time. Let's see. We could power through it if you want.
We'll power through,
Okay.
right?
But,
If that is if you're up for it.
I gotta go either way. I might some food and rest. But let's see here.
Fair enough.
Horizon Zero Dawn or / for Midwest.
S. I'm S 100%. I love Horizon. I mean, yes, the character is not exactly what, but if you look past it, I love the story. It kind of reminds me of Ghost
Yeah.
of Tsushima, but overall, wonderfully well-made game. 100%.
Oh yeah, really
Besides-
fun. Yeah, gameplay, world and stuff. And Aloy, yeah, just she gets an S rank just for her alone. I just like
Yeah.
that for Midwest though. I just didn't think that the kind of made it look like the avocado. Just, like
Yeah.
could have made her look like any other guy. I am.
And the reason I gave it an S is not just because of the character, because of the immersive environment,
Yeah.
the story, and the lore, and everything to do on it, like doing Ghost of Tsushima. And with the main character Aloy, I may or may not have a thing with long red-haired women, that you can actually have a choice to do certain actions. That's what actually gave me from an A to an S, and I said, oh, I can either be the good person, the bad person, or I can just be in the middle. I like that.
Let's see here, and I like the mixture of gameplays. You can go in range, or you can kind of like sneak up and stealth. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Batman. You can also set traps. The Batman Arkham games.
Oh yeah,
Eh.
absolutely. I love the fact that you could just do stuff.
Yeah, and when you do fight a fucking giant robot dinosaur, it's very fast and frantic.
And very loud.
I think I will try to tap out if you don't mind.
Yep.
'Cause I'll try rushing through this. So yeah, we'll pick this up next time, Downs. Okay.
No
Let's find
problem.
a raid target. But yep, I'll be back hopefully within a week or so. Because I should be hopefully moving by the end of next week. And as well as just like I said, I'm still just installing all manner of games on new computers and consoles, and that's tedious. But yeah.
Very. I have a raid target if you have no one in mind.
Go for it.
Blue Lotus.
Oh shit.
And I think she's playing Genshin Impact with her husband.
Nice. Oh, that's interesting because I gotta reset my sleep schedule too.
Wait, hold up.
Wait, I hear.
No.
Don't raid me. Don't raid me.
Actually, I think she's getting off. Don't raid me. Don't raid me.
Please don't raid me. We. She's
Oh,
raiding me
no.
as a shake. Fuck. I'm gonna kill her.
Fuck. No. I'm telling her to stop. No.
Yep.
No.
Blue, no, I want to go to bed.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay. Whew, okay.
What's
Calm
up?
down. Calm down. I got another target. I got another target. They're gonna be up for a while.
We able to
Straight
we
jacket
able to
queen.
deter Blue. This is
Blue? Oh, you
no,
got-
I
oh,
said
you got
were
one
you
in
able to
mind?
deter her away? This is
Yeah, I think I was able to deter her away. Yeah.
Next week, please look forward to it. Best way to
But
find out when
but
I'm
yeah,
going live.
but if you have no one else in mind, I would like to give Straight Jacket Queen a definite worth of
okay.
praise. They're doing plate up.
Okay, go give us the link. Her link.
New sweat. So for those who don't know what plate up is, it's kind of like Overcooked, but it's not exactly in the sense of Overcooked. It's like you design your own restaurant based on what theme that you're going for, and it's a really fun game. It's a really fun game when I look at it, and the reason yeah. So if you're into like restaurant themed games, Plate Up would definitely be a straight up shot. 100% straight up shot.
And Blue Lotus, I definitely appreciate you considering that for the raid.
Yeah, we really appreciate you, Lotus. It's in the chat.
Second. Straight Jacket Queen. Does that mean like her nemesis is Gay Coat King?
That's the one. I mean, my other target I had in mind because they are a virtual streamer is not on tonight because they're off. Kind of makes me sad.
I know some people are missing me. Hopefully I'll be back sooner or later. I do miss you, darlings. I love y'all so much. Mwah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, folks, for stopping. Thank you, Tilly.
Me?
Yes, I really appreciate it. So huge honor.
Aww. Same, Z's.
Anyway,